Hey, we're here with the Civil Wars, Joy and John Paul. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having
How'd you guys meet? And I've read on the internet that you tell people lies, so let's be
True.
truthful here.
Well, what you think is truthful. We met in a blind date co-write in Nashville, Tennessee.
That is the truth.
They had like this little song camp where there's about 20, 25 songwriters together to write for a project, and she and I drew straws and ended up in the same room, knowing absolutely nothing about each other, didn't know each other's name, nothing about our backstory. So got in the room, small talk for 30 minutes, and jumped in. So when I started playing guitar, she started singing, and I immediately thought, wow, she's a really good singer. But when I started singing with her was when the weirdness happened, because it was like we seemed to know where each other was going, and it kind of tailed off at the same spots and swelled into notes the same way, and like brother sister, like we'd always been doing it. And so we both filed it away and didn't say a word because we're really cool.
Stubborn. Oh.
Cool. So we,
insight,
yeah, yeah, typical. We got back together 3 or 4 months later.
Yeah.
Same click. Still said nothing. Went into the studio to record the song, to pitch it to someone else, which was Falling, which is on the record, and it happened again. So I finally got the nerve to ask her out, as it were, and luckily she felt the same way. But it was terrifying, honestly, to be like, so I don't know what you're doing for next 25 years.
And I have to ask your side of the story.
Pretty similar, actually. I mean, I do remember feeling very much this strange alchemy that happened when we were singing together. And it's not uncommon for John Paul nor I to have been in a situation where we were collaborating with other people. I mean, we met as professional songwriters. So Monday through Friday, we were in writing sessions with other people. So I think that's why it was so unique, was because we sing with people all the time. And other people, and then to sing together, we both sat up a little bit straighter in our chairs, and that feeling hasn't stopped ever since.
Poison and Wine was really big on Grey's Anatomy, right? That's where people first found out about you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that with technology being what it is and these shows being so huge that you even need a hit at radio at this point? I mean it helps certainly, but people
Sure.
know about you because of a non-traditional use of your music, right?
Yeah.
I think every situation is unique, and in our situation, I mean, God knows a hit we wouldn't,
Turn that one down.
Yeah, we
No,
wouldn't.
yeah.
But the way that we've been set up is kind of DIY from the start, and so when the Grey's Anatomy thing did happen, we had already released a live record for free. So when that happened and people found out about us by Googling the song lyrics, because the title of the song is not really evident in the song, so there was a free record waiting for them to try it out with no strings attached. We didn't ask for an email address.
Just a live performance from our second show that we'd ever done.
Yeah, so word of mouth just became wildfire from that point. So radio and typical album sales and things like that have always worked in the past for other bands, but we just went at it a different way because we just kind of feel like everything's changed, and what's it changed into, who knows?
Right.
But we're just kind of figuring it out as we go and going with our gut.
Yeah.
The other key element, of course, is social media, and you guys are very active with Twitter and your Facebook account and your MySpace to a certain degree. But how involved are you guys day to day in that stuff?
Oh, very. I mean, if you see us at lunch, we're barely talking to each other.
Big
We're
nerds,
kind of
yeah.
we are.
Which is
Well, we
kinda
are
nice.
big nerds, but that's beside the point. We're on our iPhones all the time, at replying or updating Facebook, and it's a big part of what we do, and it's been a huge part of keeping the conversation going, as we haven't had the red tape, thankfully, with the big machine, so to speak. So it's been a great way to let people know what we're up to. I mean, and we've done 3 legs of the tour thus far, only advertised on Twitter, and every single leg of the tour up to this point has been sold out.
Are you finding too that people are coming to your shows and singing along with you, or
Yeah.
trying to sing along with you guys?
No, they are singing along with us.
Yeah, and when you're a duo and it's just you and a guitar most of the evening,
Yeah.
they drown you out.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
which is
Which
so fun.
It's good when they can sing.
I was listening to the South by performance, and I certainly caught some of that.
Yeah.
It's such a great thing, man. And
That's a good
I
feeling.
think because of the way that we've grown as a baby band and because of the social networking that we do, a lot of people feel like personally involved and feel like we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And they feel like they found us because it was just the free thing leaking around until our record came out just a couple of months ago. So you feel this camaraderie that I've never felt before in a live setting that it feels like you're just in your living room playing with people.
The other thing about the internet is that we've kind of become, this generation I think has become genreless. We're not, we're not a folk band, we're not a country band. How would you describe your sound for the uninitiated who haven't checked your music out yet?
We still are kind of feeling our way through the dark to figure that one out too, but I mean, I've been tending to say lately that it's just harmony laced folk music.
Yeah, we don't traditionally fall into the folk category, but that's as close. I mean, the Americana tag, we had the Southern Gothic thing thrown out.
We've even had pop thrown out in the mix of descriptions.
And then country references too, because I grew up heavily versed on Johnny Cash and Chris Christopherson and Don Williams and all those guys. So those things definitely bleed into what we do. So I'm honored to hear those kind of references.
Yeah.
Your songs are so personal and about obviously about relationships, but you're not obviously a couple. You're just a partners in a band. But you draw on probably the same inspiration, and it's weird to me that you probably have similar relationships that have gone on to is anybody offended in your home about the music you write or wondering what's going on? Or?
Well, I'm really happily married to an amazing man, and he happens to be our manager too. So I get the added benefit of traveling on the road with him a lot. And, I think it's really helpful that John Paul and I are not a romantic duo because I think it would change the way that we wrote songs. Yeah. And I would say our marriages are really different because every relationship is unique unto itself. But there are themes, of the struggle to be vulnerable or the a myriad of things that you deal with when you're in any kind of committed relationship or just any relationship in general. So we like to tap into those. And then I think it's fun to bring the feminine perspective to a masculine perspective and toss that into a writing and experiment and see what comes out of it. And hopefully that's one of the things that people are connecting with is the fact that there might be multiple sort of plugins, so to speak, for people's own stories. And we try to keep it a little bit more vague in the way that we write too. Well,
and I equally have an incredibly supportive, wonderful wife, but she's at home. She doesn't get to travel with us, and we have small children, and so she's I think she's already been canonized for sainthood. But I've been a professional writer for about 10 years, so a lot of these themes that I talk about with Joy, I talk about with co-writer guys, and we all have these kind of relationships, and you put a male and female on stage, and the interplay that we have on stage, then naturally there's people's minds go a certain way, but when we came into this relationship, we had been solo performers, but we'd also been professional songwriters, so these are themes we've touched on for a while. It just seems to really click into place, and I believe these songs are probably better than anything I've ever written, and so why not keep doing it?
Yeah, that's very sweet.
Yeah, it's downhill from here.
That's great.
Yeah, thinking positive. Yeah.
You can put out a job posting if you like.
Partially used.
You're on tour now. Record only came out in February, so you still got a lot to do in terms of touring the record. Are you still writing? Are you guys always writing? Is that something that you like to spend time on?
I love writing. We both love writing. I mean, just being on the road, it's a little bit more complicated to actually just get hours of free time. Right. Whether or not you're actually traveling to get someplace or whatever that is. But we've started during sound checks, kind of noodling around, or the song that we just played, "O Henry," is a new one as well, and we wrote that on an off day in Utah at the Sundance Film Festival. So we're finding little pockets of time, and it's a big part of what we do, playing things out live before going into the studio. That's largely what we did with this record. So hopefully keep that going.
And your plan is to tour throughout the spring and into the
The
summer?
rest of my entire life.
Yeah. Great.
That is definitely the plan.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And thanks for making a really beautiful record.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
And thanks for inviting me to the prom.
Dude, no problem.
He
Well,
dressed up for you.
I'm going to have to get you a corsage or
Yeah,
something.
something. Thanks. Thanks a lot.
Boutonniere.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.